This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. Hi guys. Good morning and good evening. I see still folks are joining in. Okay, no issues. Guys, before starting the first session of our course, I just wanted to confirm on two things. One is my voice. Is my voice clear? Can someone please confirm?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Thank you. And I'm also shared my screen. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's get started, guys. I think last week, I mean, 1 week ago, we had a session on Selenium test automation, which was a kind of a demo session. So from today, the regular classes, I mean, regular uh, uh, sessions will going to kick off, and the topics which we are going to discuss. Right? Let me first quickly show you what are all things we are going to discuss. Anyway, I showed this as part of demo session also, but quickly I'll show you what are all topics which we are going to learn as part of this entire Selenium test automation. Okay, so I think you have this file also, like course contents file, which is like so. So I divided the entire course into four phases, guys. First phase would be something like Selenium introduction, where I will give the some details about Selenium. Before that, I just talk about some automation testing and why, what is test automation and all those, right? All those things and different types of automation approaches, and then introduction to Selenium and all this. And then once the introduction topics are over, then I will start something called core Java as part of our second phase. So we are going to discuss the Java whichever required for our entire Selenium test automation. Okay, so it would take some 10 to 12 classes where we are going to discuss about core Java concepts. Then in phase 3, the actual Selenium classes will go and discussed here. Okay, and phase 4 would be something advanced topics which we required for our complete end-to-end Selenium test automation. Okay, different third-party tools, integrations, and frameworks, and all those things we'll discuss as part of fourth phase. Okay, now let me first start with the day one today, like introduction to automation. Some of the topics which we already discussed as part of demo session, maybe some of them are joined newly, right? So let's try to start with the basic thing. What is automation testing? Before that, I showed you what is I mean, I discussed about what is an automation first, and then I discussed about what is test automation. Why would we need test automation? All those we discussed on the demo class, but I will quickly repeat these topics before we start a new topic called different types of automation approaches we have in our entire automation world, right? That is, it's a new topic. So before that, let me quickly recap or repeat what we discussed on demo class also quickly. Just 5 to 10 minutes. We'll first finish up that, and then we'll come back to the new topic which we are going to discuss in today's class. Yep. So if we see automation testing, right? So as I mentioned on demo or a day one of the our course also, like, so automation is nothing but, okay, it's a simple technique, or it's a tool which we are going to develop, okay, develop, write ourselves, which will make sure running a
Hey,
okay, which is going to make, sorry, someone is, okay, yep. So it's a technique of making a mission or process or a functionality of an application to work on its own with a little intervention. This is nothing but an automation. Okay, in case of automation, automation is not limited, or it's not particular to only our testing side or software testing side. Automation can be implemented anywhere, can be developed anywhere, in any software life cycle phase. Okay, it's not only in testing phase we will use automation. That is one kind of automation, that is test automation. Okay, and this automation can be implemented or utilized anywhere in the entire software development life cycle. It can be developed as part of design phase or development phase or even maintenance phase. Anywhere you can implement automation, which which basically it will make something to work on its own. That's it. Okay, with a little manual intervention, because here little manual intervention, because we have to write some script or something, we have to build, which will take care of making that particular mission or process or functionality of an application to work on its own. That's why we require some little intervention before it runs on its own. Okay, yeah. So this is all about automation. And as I mentioned, right, test automation. Okay, so test automation is purely when it comes to our software testing phase. Okay, so when it comes to software testing phase, so let's try to understand what is test automation first. So right, generally in the entire software development life cycle there will be different phases, right? So initially, whenever any new software development or new software something is going to start, there will be different phases, guys. Okay, that is nothing but software development life cycle. So part of that, first what we do, right? So first step or first stage would be, we need to gather some requirements. Okay, so analyze requirements or gather requirements from the stakeholders or the product owners who is going to start that product, right? Product or project. So we need to first gather requirements are nothing but how our application would be look like something like, what are all pages required and what are the functionalities should be there, what are the features we are going to give it. All those we will first analyze and gather those requirements from the stakeholders, from the product owners. Then in the second phase, generally I'm just giving high level software development life cycle. Okay, in the second phase, generally what we do, we start designing that particular uh, application or the software. Okay, so design phase is nothing but, so first we will also identify what are the different technologies we need to use as part of the software development, like which programming language, which other tools we need to go for. All these also will be decided in the design phase. And also they will give the high level design of that particular application. Like, so these are the pages it will be there, and in each page, like the design will be like the, here the buttons will be there, here somewhere some other options will be there. So from here to user navigates to the other page, like that high level design will be discussed and it will be finalized in the design phase. Then next phase would be like development phase, where the actual development of the application will start kicked off. Like generally, if you see, as per the entire application, right? We generally divide that entire application into different modules or different components or something, right? Then will each component or each module will be taken care by set of team or group of team, where they will start developing the pages. Okay, pages is nothing but application pages, where they will use whatever code, right? Whatever technology they decided to use. So suppose they are using Java application, the Java for their development, then they use Java to start designing and developing their modules or pages in the development phase. Then once the development phase is done, our testing phase will come. Okay, that is nothing but software testing, where actually we will be giving one application in a dev environment or the staging environment, where we are going to start testing it. Testing is nothing but validating it. Okay, so basically testing or entire testing is nothing but a validation and verification, guys. So which is nothing but, so as per the requirement, whether the application is working fine or not. That's what we are going to test. Suppose as soon as I launch my application is whether the home page has been displayed properly or not. That is simple validation. In the home page, whatever the controls or whatever the buttons or whatever the images which are to be there, are they are existing or existed or not. That's what we are going to validate. Okay, so testing, entire testing is nothing but validation, guys. We are just comparing the results, like actual results which we see in front of the application. I mean, when we sit in front of the machine, and the expected results are the results which we already set. That is nothing but, suppose I am going to click on a button. As soon as I click on a button, user should navigate to the next page and it should display some message. Okay, that is the expected result. But the same thing is happening or not, whenever I actually click on that particular button, whether reality is happening or not, that we call it as actual results. Okay, so these actual results versus expected results is all about testing, guys. Okay, we are going to validate actual results against expected result. If both are matching or both are okay, then we will make the test case passed or something. Okay, so all these I'm giving because there might be some people who are coming from non-technical or non-IT background, guys. That's why I'm discussing all this. So after testing phase, generally it would be a maintenance phase or support phase. Once we deploy that entire application to the market, or we will give it to the market, then people start using it. If there are any changes or if there are any issues, then the maintenance or support team will take care of it. Okay, ops team or support team will take care of it actually. Okay, so this is what high level software development life cycle is. Now let's see what is test automation. So test automation is nothing but here, guys. So I'm going to, or we are going to use a particular tool here. Okay, so whatever we do manually, right, as part of manual testing or functional testing, whatever we do, like validation or verification, all right, same thing here we are going to do with use of a particular automation tool. That is nothing but test automation. Okay. just a minute just a minute, guys. Yeah, so as part of test automation, what we do, we are going to validate the application, or we are going to test the application by using a particular automation tool. That is nothing but a test automation. Here also we are going to compare the results as usual what we do in manual testing. Here also we will compare the results, like actual results versus expected results. That's what we do. Okay. So why do we need automation testing? Still we have manual testing or functional testing in place. Okay, so and generally, guys, so in any project or product, we see um, testing team will be there. Okay, it is a combination of sometimes manual team plus automation team, or only manual team or only automation team. So there will be kind of uh, teams will be like that. So where, if suppose generally manual team or functional team, they will first take care of testing that particular application manually. Okay, manually is nothing but they will write some test cases. Those test cases will be executed or tested as part of their manual testing. Okay, so then automation team will be there, that will take care of automating the application, and they will run the automation scripts, and they will make sure application is stable, and they can run a number of times, and there will be a lot of benefits which we get when we have a automation testing in place. Okay, so that's where, so this part which we are going to discuss. So though we have a manual testing in place, why do I need to go for automation testing? That's what we are going to discuss. So there are a lot of benefits which made this automation testing more more popular, and one of the most important stage in the entire testing phase. Okay, so it saves lot of time and cost, because whenever you write your automation scripts and also you automate your regression suite, something which has some 100 or 200 test cases, then once we start running it, right, it will save lot of time. It will run fast because automation always runs faster. And also in automation testing we have something called, we can run our automation scripts in parallel. Okay, so I can run 5 test cases at a time in parallel. 5 browsers will be opened and then it will execute it. Okay, so that is possible. That's where it is faster and cost wise, because so once you have automation, right, so you don't need a very big manual team required. Okay, so you can have manual team of very less number, like 3 to 4 members or 2 to 3 members, and you can have automation team. That's where the cost will be reduced. I mean, resources cost. You don't need to have a big team here whenever you have a automation testing in place. Okay, that's where one thing. And as I mentioned, it is always faster than the manual testing, and we can cover the all the features of the application when you have a automation testing in place. And the results which we get will be more reliable. Okay, so the more the results, right, the automation results. In automation we have something called taking a screenshot. Okay, you can take a screenshot as well. Whenever any test case failed, we can write a script to take a screenshot. That means by seeing the screenshot also, we can come to know what has exactly happened there, whether it is failed, why did it failed, all this we can come to know by seeing the results. That's where the results which we get from automation, right, those will be most reliable. Next, the human intervention not at all required, guys. Whenever your execution is going on, you don't need to sit in front of the mission once the execution is going on during the execution. Okay, so you can leave the mission and you can work on the some other things. Next, if you can effectively test all your features of the application and reusable test scripts, so you can reuse your test scripts n number of times whenever and wherever required. Suppose you have written a simple small script which is a login script, and that login script is required for all your test cases. The first step would be like logging into the application. In such cases also, what generally we do, right, so we will simply write one script for logging into the application. Same script will be reused across all your 100 or 200 test cases. Okay, that is what the one of the most beneficial part is, like reusing or reusable test scripts. Then test frequency and thoroughly, you can run your test cases n number of times, guys, because you have implemented automation into your project or product, where it will take care of running your test cases. And as you have automation, right, you can run n number of times. So daily, in a day, you can run 10 times also, you can run if required. Okay, so that's where. But if you have a manual testing in place, right, so again the manual team or manual resources are to are they have to sit in front of the machine and they have to validate all the things. Okay, but if you have a automation testing in place, you can run your automation scripts in remote mission somewhere and you can leave it. So once the entire execution is done, you will get the results back. Okay. Finally, the you because of this automation testing, right, we can get our application into the market early. Okay, so during this the current trends, right, like agile methodologies or DevOps methodologies, so every product owner wants to release their product to the market early. Okay, that is possible using automation testing. Okay, so actually these are the benefits which we get if you have a automation testing in place, guys. So anyway, I have discussed this in the demo class also. I just wanted to repeat. Okay, now let's try to understand the new topic today. Like, so till whatever I discussed, right, in last 10 to 15 minutes, those we already discussed in the demo session also, but I just wanted to repeat. Now let's try to understand different types of automation approaches, guys. Okay, so different types of automation approaches, that is nothing but, okay, so generally automation can be done in multiple ways, guys. Okay, so automation can be done in multiple ways. So when it comes to test automation, so there are basically two types of automation approaches are there. Okay, so two types of automation approaches. One is like functional automation approach or object based automation approach. Okay, object based automation approach, and the second one, image based automation approach. Okay, image based automation approach. Okay, so based on this approaches only, the tools also got divided. Okay, tools, I'm nothing but whatever automation tools we have. So let's see what is object based automation approach. So here, in case of object based automation approach, whatever application which we are going to automate, right? So suppose I am going to automate simple basic website like wikipedia.org. Okay, just for an example, guys. Suppose I'm going to automate this. Okay, so in case of object based automation approach, so we are going to identify the elements. We are going to identify the web elements basically like text boxes, drop downs, or buttons, or radio buttons, or checkboxes, whatever, right? So we are going to identify these buttons are these elements or controls by using its object properties. So suppose I can simply right click on this particular, and we will have one option called inspect. If I inspect it, right, generally the entire html code of this particular page will be displayed here under element section. Okay, the the html code the developers they used for developing this particular simple web page, right? So that entire html code I can see here whenever I right click and inspect it. Okay, so right click and inspect any, this inspect option will be there in any browser, guys. Okay, so in chrome or firefox or even microsoft edge or anywhere it will be there. So once you inspect, you will see this entire html code. If you see this particular text box, this is a text box, right, where a user can input something. So this text box, the developers they have used a HTML tag called input, and this input tag has some attributes called ID, name, type, size, autofocus, all these, right? So these are something called object properties or simply like attributes. So by using these, we are going to identify this particular element. Suppose I am going to identify this particular element by using its ID. Its ID search input. Okay, so ID generally it will be unique. Okay, so I can uniquely identify this particular text box by using ID, and I can eh, eh, locate this particular drop down, and it is a select tag, and it also has ID, or I can use a name also. Like that, I can identify this particular object. Object is nothing but an element, guys. Okay, so generally we technically we call it as object, or in general terms we call it as normal web element or normal element. Okay, so these objects or the elements are identified by the properties or the attributes of that particular element. So in this case of object based automation approach, we are going to identify, okay, we are going to identify the elements, okay, using its ob- uh, objects properties. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to identify this particular, suppose I'm going to interact or I'm going to automate this text box. I need to enter some text into text box. Then first I need to identify this particular element by using its properties. That is nothing but, in case of object based automation approach, we are going to identify a particular element by using its properties. That is nothing but object based automation approach. So there are n number of tools available for this particular approach. So those are like our Selenium. Okay, Selenium WebDriver is object based automation approach tool. Okay, Selenium WebDriver, and HP UFT is also is from object based, and IBM RFT. Okay, IBM RFT. So, and there are a number of tools. Yes, okay, there are a number of tools. Even Cypress, okay, Playwright, all these also. Okay, Cypress, and there is newly they are like Playwright. Okay, all these are also object-based automation tools or object-based automation approach followed. Okay, all these tools. So now next one is image-based automation approach. So here what we are going to do, right? So same way. So here, so for suppose same application I want to automate by using image-based automation approach. In that case, what I do, right? So first we will capture the images of this particular what do you mean, this particular element. Suppose I'm going to capture, suppose this text box. Okay, suppose this text box I'm going to capture as an image. Okay, like this I'm going to capture it, and I'm going to have that image, right? So that image as a object here. So I'm going to identify this particular text box by using this kind of image. So I capture this image, right? See this image like that. So here, when it comes to image based automation approach, we are going to identify, or we are going to handle our web elements or the objects by using images. Okay, so that is what. So I first we need to capture all the images, and then we are going to write a script to enter some text into this particular text box by using this image, select a drop down by using this image, something like that. So that is what image based automation approach tool. And here we are going to identify the elements by using images. Okay, and here the tools available in the market, one of the most tools like just a moment. Yeah, so one of the tools like uh, apply tools is one of the apply tools, and egg, eggplant from a test plant company. Okay, and Sikuli is another open source third party tool available for image based automation approach, and some other there are it's not like more tools are there. Yes, it's very limited. Okay, so but so all these tools are going to handle, or are going to automate the things by using images. Okay, that is called image based automation approaches. So out of which there are benefits. So in case of object based automation approach, right? So you, it is limited to certain applications only, like some web applications and all, windows based applications or something. But when you are going to use image based automation approach or image based automation tool, right? So for image based automation tools, it doesn't matter the technology the application is using. The application can be of used any technology, as it's a java based application, or it's windows based application, or it's console, or it's command based application. Whatever application, we can automate using image based automation approach. Okay, and object based automation approach, so actually there are some limitations where we can automate certain set of applications like web based or windows based applications only. Mainframes based or command line based applications cannot be automated using object based automation approach. Okay, but object based automation approach is very faster than when it compares to image based automation approach. And there are some other benefits also we have whenever we go for object based automation approach. Okay, you can run test cases in parallel. All this is possible, but image based automation possible, but a lot of work has to be done here. Okay, so that's where, so our Selenium WebDriver is going to come under the approach called object based automation approach, guys. Got it? Yeah. So widely, or on high level, we can divide the entire automation approach into two things. One is object based automation approach and image based automation approach. Even the tools available in the market, they also got categorized and divided into different set of tools based on the approach it follows, whether it is object based approach it is following, or image based approach it is following. Okay, yeah, we on high level we need to understand this before we start our Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so this is all about object based automation approach, guys. So now let's understand next topic. So Selenium introduction, quickly I am going to give what is Selenium, and what are the different components it has, and why do we need to go for Selenium. There are even other tools are available in okay, quickly. And also today I will show you how Selenium really works. Okay, so I'm going to run one simple test case, and I will show you how the browser is opening and all those things quickly. Then tomorrow we will discuss about history about Selenium, when it came, who developed it, and all those things we'll discuss it in the tomorrow's session. Let's try to understand what is Selenium. Okay, what all different components it has. Okay, so this is also I gave some introduction about Selenium in the demo class. Even let me quickly repeat the same thing. Okay, just on a high level. Okay, so here Selenium, as I mentioned, it is one of the object based automation tools available in the market. Okay, and it's one of the open source tools available in the market, guys. So I will discuss about what is open source tool and all those things. First, let's try to understand. So Selenium is, in simple words, it is one of the automation tools available in the market. So using Selenium, what we can do, we are going to the main thing for Selenium test automation, right? So it is designed to automate the web application interactions. Okay, so using Selenium, you can automate, in simple words. Okay, in simple words, using Selenium, we can automate web applications. So web applications are the applications which we can open through our browser using internet. So those applications, suppose whatever application I can open through browser by using internet, so those applications generally we get it as web applications. Suppose Wikipedia, like Amazon. Okay, Amazon.in or Amazon.com. So this is web application. Facebook, Twitter, all these also I can open through web, right? So these all things we call it as web applications. Okay, the applications which we can we can open through a browser using internet. So here Selenium also can automate the web application interactions. That means the applications which we can open through browser, we can automate using Selenium tool. So that here in Selenium, by using Selenium, I am going to write some script to automate some application features or something like that. And then how how the real user, okay, how the normal real user performs the actions or interact with the application, same way Selenium can also interact. That is nothing but, guys, suppose how the real user here entering some text into text box like this, and how the real user selecting an option from the drop down. Okay, and how the real user clicking on the buttons, same way Selenium script also is going to perform the same actions, like entering some text into text box and selecting the drop downs and clicking on buttons, reading some text, and all this validating something. How the real user interacts with the elements, same way Selenium scripts also does. Okay, so that's what Selenium does, guys. Selenium is one of the automation tools available in the market, which is mainly designed for web application interactions, and it is basically automate the how the real user performs or how the real user interacts with the web elements. Same way it can also talk to that particular browser, and then it can automate the things. Okay, so that's what I mentioned here also. Selenium just aims to mimic the behavior of a real user, okay, by interacting with the elements of the web application. How the real user interacts with the web elements like buttons or text boxes or radio buttons or something, same way it can also interact with them. Okay, that is what Selenium does. I will show you simple example also. Before that, guys, so Selenium is not a single tool, guys. It has total four different components it has. Okay, so if you see here, the four components are like, just a moment. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, so the four components are, so like first one, Selenium RC. This is the first version of Selenium which was released into the market. Selenium RC or Selenium 1.0, and Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Okay, Selenium RC is one of the tools, one of the oldest component of the Selenium, but it's no more. Okay, it's not there, guys. So after few years, the features of the Selenium RC, they merged into Selenium WebDriver, and they completely deprecated this Selenium RC. Okay, now we don't have Selenium RC in place, so you don't need to worry about the Selenium RC much. Okay, So because Selenium RC they deprecated actually, they decommissioned completely. Some of the features they merged into Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so that's where Selenium RC is no more. Then Selenium IDE is a simple browser add-on which can be used to record our actions and playback. It's basically a record and playback tool, which is basically a browser add-on, guys. Okay, so I will discuss about Selenium IDE because it's there. So it is just basically for learning purpose. In real time, we don't use this IDE also. Okay, so out of four now two are grayed out almost. Okay, so now Selenium WebDriver is one of the most popular or powerful components among all of them, all of four, and this is the one which we really use in our actual automation. Okay, Selenium WebDriver is something, the component which we are going to use as part of our actual automation. And Selenium Grid is another tool or component which is available in the Selenium, which is basically for distributing your test cases or distribution testing, or if at all you want to run your test cases in remote missions or virtual missions, then we can go for Selenium Grid. This also we will have a classes in coming days. Okay, so out of all these, right, Selenium IDE I will discuss anyway, but I am not going to we are also not going to much worry about this also IDE. This is just for learning purpose. Okay, we are not going to use Selenium IDE in a actual real time project implementations. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver is the main thing which we have to learn in detailed and all the features of Selenium WebDriver. Okay, and Selenium Grid also, which is required for in some instances. So I will discuss all those. Okay, so on high level we have four different components of Selenium, but out of four also the two are the main components which we are going to learn in depth, and also we are going to use as part of our real time test automation project implementations. Okay, yeah, so this is all about Selenium and its components, guys. Now I'm going to show you how Selenium really works, guys. Okay, how Selenium really going to work, I'm going to show you. I have one script which I have already written. Okay, so let's discuss about what is this. So this is the script which I have written to automate a simple scenario called I'm going to launch this wikipedia.org as part of browser, and I'm going to enter India into this text box. I'm going to select a language called English, and I'm going to click on this particular button or icon, and it is going to navigate to the next page where I'm going to read this text, header text, and I'm going to validate and print it. That is what my test case. Now this I have automated using Selenium WebDriver, and I just wanted to show you how really Selenium works. Okay, so basically there are 7 steps to be followed to automate any test case using Selenium WebDriver, guys. So those 7 steps are nothing but, see, initiating the WebDriver. That is nothing but you are going to launch your browser, blank browser. So this will do, right. So till here, what it will do, it will simply these lines of code for launching a blank browser, either Chrome or Firefox or whatever. Okay, Selenium supports all major browsers available in the market. So here in this example, I took Chrome. Okay, so these don't worry about what is this lines of code. So we will discuss line by line in the coming classes. But for now, so these 4 or 5 lines of code is for launching a blank browser first initially. Then this line of code is for launching your application, your URL into browser, the blank browser which was opened here. And these lines of code for locating your web elements, that such text box, language drop down, and button or icon. Just a moment, guys. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, maybe there was some issue. Okay, yeah, now it's fine, I guess. And are you able to see my screen as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Sorry for the short disturbance. I think network was down and again up. Okay, yeah. So these lines of code for basically so entering some text into text box and selecting language and clicking on a button, and these two lines of code basically for waiting for browser response. So as soon as I click on some button, it is taking some time to navigate to the next page. Okay, so where we are using these lines of code to wait for that, and these are reading that header text in the next page and validating some basic things, and finally closing my browser or concluding my test. Okay, so these are the 7 basic steps to be followed to automate any kind of test case, whether it is a simple, medium, or complex test case. Anything you can automate using Selenium. Okay, so don't worry about all these lines of code, guys. So by the end of the course, you will also be able to write the script like this. Okay, you will be in a position to write the script like this. For now, let me simply run this and then show you how really Selenium is going to work. Okay, so here in my local machine, I don't have any browser open now, Chrome or anything. So now let's try to run this. Okay, so I'm going to run. It's a Java code, guys. So actually it's a Java class and Java main method and all. So that's where I'm going to run this as a Java application. So let's see, run as Java application. So it is going to start. Just a moment. So it is initializing, building the project. Basically it's very first time after some days I'm running this again, right? Maybe the building project and initializing, analyzing will take few seconds. So once that is done, it will start executing the rest. See, it started starting Chrome driver 110.11.0. That is Chrome version actually. See, it is opened a blank browser initially. See here, and it is maximized. It entered wikipedia.org, and initial page load happens. India, selecting language and clicking on search icon, and it is navigating to the next page. Here it read this particular header text, and it will validate and it will close the browser. Here the page load is happening, so let it run. So the application is somewhat slower here. Yeah, see, it closed. See, finally I got the header text as India and my test passed. Okay, so this is how generally the Selenium work with browsers, guys. See, I'm running it again. So just observe this, how the browser is getting opened and how the actions are performed actually, like entering some text into text boxes, selecting options, and then clicking on buttons, all these, right? So these are all things are getting performed by using Selenium WebDriver library. Okay, just a moment. Again, I just ran. It should not be this much slower. Maybe my Eclipse is fully loaded or it's something. Yeah, now starting Chrome driver. See, blank browser opened first time, and it is going to maximize, and it is going to enter that wikipedia.org. And once the initial page load is done, then it will enter India, selecting language and clicking on search icon, and it navigated to this page, and it will read the text and it will validate and close it. See, that's how. Okay, so this is how the automation works, guys. Okay, Selenium automation works. So anyway, we are going to learn step by step. So once the Java classes are done, right? So we are going to learn first how to initiate the WebDriver. Then we are going to learn how to locating the web elements. What are different locators we have in Selenium? All those step by step we'll learn. Okay. So that is after Java classes, because before learning these Chrome options, Chrome driver, and all these, right? So I need to have a knowledge how to create a Java class. Okay, how to write a main method. Okay, how to what is a try catch block. All this information is just a moment. Okay, so basically, guys, so we are going to learn step by step. Okay, so before learning Selenium script, right? So first let's try to learn Java classes. What is this class? How to write it? How to create a Java class, how to create a main method, how to write exception handling, how to run a particular Java class, okay, how to write a methods, and what are all different all these core Java concepts we will learn first. Then we will learn Selenium things, and then we will finally learn some advanced tools or the frameworks and all. Okay, yeah, step by step we'll go, guys. We don't need to worry about the entire thing. So let's go step by step. So now this is all about how Selenium works. Now I'm going to discuss one more thing today before closing the today's session. How to learn any particular tool, guys. Okay. So how to learn any automation tool? It's not like Selenium WebDriver or something. So I have identified some 7 basic steps to learn any particular tool, guys. Okay, so if you follow these 7 basic steps, you can learn any automation tool. Okay, so first step would be like, first we need to identify whatever tool we are going to learn, and also we need to identify what are the programming language it is supported by. Okay, suppose if you see Selenium is supported by multiple programming languages like Java, C sharp, that is nothing but .NET, Python or PHP or Node.js, whatever. Okay, so if you are good at any one of these languages, you can start using Selenium with that particular language. So before start learning any automation tool, first you need to identify the prerequisite, that is nothing but what is the programming language it is supported, and you need to start learn that programming language, guys. Okay, basics of that programming language in the first step. So once the basics of the programming language has been gained, right, then you need to start learning the basics of the automation tool. That is nothing but how to launch a browser, how to launch application, how to click on buttons and all you need to learn. Okay, so in the second step, once we learn the basic automation tool features, and what we do, we will write one simple, or we will automate a simple scenario using automation tool with help of that programming language. So generally, the very first time whenever you write any automation script, or whenever you automate any simple scenario, whenever you run it, 99% of the time it will fail, guys. 99.9% of the times it fails. Okay, so generally, generally what we do in general, right? So once our test automation script fails, we will try to fix that particular issue. Okay, why it is failed, where exactly went wrong, all those we will check, and then we are going to try to fix it. Okay, somehow we try to fix it, but somehow even after trying fixing it, it is not working. Then generally most of the people, what they do, right, they stop there itself, and they go and pick the next other tool, and then they start wanted to learn some other things or something. They stop their learning there itself. Okay, so what I suggest are, right, so don't stop, actually. Okay, don't stop whenever your first script fails, because anyway most of the times it will fail, guys. Most of the times your first script will fail because you haven't learned all the things, right? You just learned the basic things and tried automating a simple scenario. That's where, don't stop whenever your first script fail. So get some help. Okay, so you search in the Google, or get some help from your friends or your colleagues or somewhere, right? And try to make that first script pass. Okay, once the first script pass, right, you will also gain some confidence, and then you can start learning the next things in the tool. Okay, that's where, whenever we are going to learn any automation tool, guys, so first step would, the main thing which we learn, which we need to understand, which we need to remember is, don't stop whenever any test script fails very first time. So get some help and search for help in the Google, or get some help from your friends or folks, anyone from anyone, and then try to make that first script work. So then you will gain confidence, and you can start learning the next things. Okay, so once you search for the help, and then you made your particular script passed, right, then you can explore the tool. That is nothing but, initially we learned very basic features of that particular tool, right? Then we can learn other features of that particular automation tool, and also you can practice a lot. So only practice will make you learning much better, guys. Okay, so just learning the concepts, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you need to practice it and you need to gain the hands-on experience. So hands-on experience is nothing but you write different scripts, you write or you automate different applications and try to run it and check whether those are running properly or not. And if in case any failures, fix it and run it again. Like that, practice is only thing which will make your language learning or any technical learning will uh, make it 100%, guys. Okay, so practicing is very very important. So I can see, suppose whatever topics I'm going to teach you in the class, if you just listen those topics or concepts, those are not enough, guys. So whatever I repeat in the class, I mean technically also, if you repeat same thing in your local mission, that is nothing but practicing, right? So which will make you more uh, I mean in a better position to understand the concepts effectively, and also you will gain lot of hands-on experience also. Okay, and also you can attend any interview also. That's where, so practice will is really required. It's not just learning the concepts. Okay, if you just learn the concepts, you can answer some of the questions only in the interview, but if they technically ask any questions, you cannot answer. That's where practicing is really required. That is nothing but gaining hands-on experience, and during the practice anyway we will improve our work. Okay, that's what, guys. If at all we want to learn any particular tool, if you follow these basic 7 steps, we can learn any automation tool. It's not like Selenium WebDriver. You can pick any automation tool like Cypress or anything. You can proceed and learn it. Okay, so don't worry. So I will make you guys practice things, because so weekly, I mean at the end of the week, so I'm going to share some assignments. Okay, simple assignments which we discussed on the topics which we discussed in that particular week. Suppose in this week I am going to discuss moreover about Selenium IDE. Okay, so Selenium IDE is one of the most one of the tools or the components of the things, right? So in that Selenium IDE, I am going to teach you how to record and playback and all. So at the end of the week, I will share some assignments on Selenium IDE, so that you can also gain some hands-on experience by practicing them. That is one thing. And also daily, whatever I'm teaching in the class, right? Just repeat in your mission also. So today anyway, it's very starting class. That's why it's almost all theory things which we discuss. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start actual practical sessions. How Selenium IDE is installed and how Selenium IDE works. All those I'm going to discuss from tomorrow only. Okay. So in such cases, so you can also start in parallel with me, like installing Selenium IDE into your local browser, and also start recording things and all. So that way you will be learning the things quickly. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's all from my side for today, guys. I think let's wind it up here for today. Anyway, we are top of the hour today, so let's stop it here for today, and let's connect tomorrow at the same time, 7 a.m. IST. And we are going to discuss this some features of the Selenium advantages, and I'm going to discuss about a new topic called limitations of Selenium also in the tomorrow's class, and also I will start with Selenium IDE. Okay, yeah. So before closing, guys, if you guys have any questions, we can discuss now. Either you can ping on the chat window if you guys have any questions. It's not like at the end of the class, guys. During the class also, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ping the questions in the chat box. I will be taking up at the end of the class daily, or else you can stop me in the middle also and you can ask the questions. No, don't worry. Okay, so whichever works, you can. It's not like just whenever you get any doubt, You can simply stop me in the middle and then ask. Anyway, today's it's all about some introduction things. So from tomorrow, actually, we are going to have a actual practical sessions where I'm going to show you how to install IDE, how to record and playback, what all different commands will be there. All those things we'll discuss step by step. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Okay. I think if there are no further questions, at least for today, I think it's good to close, guys. Yep. Okay. Okay then. Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your times. So catch up tomorrow at the same time, 7 a.m. IST. So we are going to discuss another interesting topics, Selenium ID and all in the tomorrow's class. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. See you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you, sir.